One of the deadliest tactics that the best players use to crush their opponents is to hit a high ball, preferably to the backhand side, get an easy ball back, and then flatten out that shot for a winner. But if we start going down and down to the club and junior levels, we'll see a little bit something more like this. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably fall into one of two categories. One, you might be hitting with a decent amount of spin, but you just can't seem to generate enough drive to finish points. Or maybe you can't generate spin for the life of you, and as a result, you go for broke on the wrong shots, and then that leads to a bunch of unforced errors. So in this video, let's master both your forehand topspin and drive shot and know exactly when to use which one. The first key to mastering your forehand is understanding when you should go for the topspin and when you should drive it out for a flat shot. When you start hitting with truly heavy topspin, your balls will actually go high over the net and dip right into the court for safety. But in order to prevent your opponents from being able to attack the ball, once the ball bounces, the ball will actually kick up on your opponent. And this, of course, makes topspin great for neutralizing shots when you're in the rally and waiting for your opportunity to attack. But let's take this even a step further to what that leads to. Top players rarely hit shots that are over 10 shots long, and instead, they win by focusing their efforts on the first 4 points. This means getting much better at placement and being able to finish shots early. Introducing topspin. Topspin allows you to actually add shape to the ball, allowing players to open up angles, make down the line shots, and pick up low balls consistently. And if you can master these heavy topspin shots, especially when it comes to your opponent's backhand side, then you're gonna start breaking them left and right. So it sounds like this whole topspin thing has everything wrapped into one, right? Well, kind of. There's still a big, common, neglected weakness that I see a lot of players doing when they try to implement this topspin. And it's especially prevalent below the 4.5 level in tournaments. I know I've seen it, I'm sure you've seen it, the dreaded moonballer. You'll see these players haunting everybody everywhere, especially below the 4.5 level, and they easily win just by looping high balls over your head and expecting you to miss. Advanced players clean the court with these moonballers, specifically because they know exactly how to handle these high, soft topspin loopy balls. And here's how. The flat forehand is a perfect counter to these types of balls because it's ideal for more aggressive types of playing, and it allows you to produce and handle more pace. Generally speaking, the flatter your shot or the more forward your swing path is, the less arc you're going to be able to create on the ball. This means that you'll need to attack the ball by hitting deeper shots and really just penetrating your opponent. Now, because with this shot you have less arc, players are going to reserve this aggressive flat out shot for when they're on balance and when the ball is high and slow. And this is key because if you pull the trigger at the wrong time, then you'll end up making a lot more unforced errors. Now, players here will also flatten out their swing path when they're trying to handle extra fast balls. And this is because timing the upward trajectory of your racket and trying to generate more topspin on balls like this is a lot harder, and you could try this out yourself. So when you're returning flat serves or balls that are right at your feet and you're trying to catch them off the rise, players like Federer or Djokovic are going to instead opt for shortening their backswing and extending through the ball to easily redirect the ball's pace. And this even works at the highest levels of tennis. Nadal, for example, has a history of struggling against hard, aggressive flat hitters like Soderling and Almagro. Now, let's be honest here, Nadal will literally plow through, and I mean literally plow through anybody at the French Open. But on faster indoor courts, that's when flat hitters have a slight chance. Now, I recently saw a great video on this by Colt Tennis, so if you want to check it out, I left a link in the description below. So, in short, mastering the flat shot allows you to time balls right off the rise, take time away from your opponent to put them on the defense, and then put away the shot with a soul-crushing winner. So, now the million-dollar question. How can you create both the topspin and the drive forehand? At the most basic level, the best players in the world create topspin by rapidly rotating their racket around their hand and arm through a motion called internal shoulder rotation and forearm pronation. And we talk really in depth about this in this video. Now, this motion is commonly taught as the windshield wiper motion, but what a lot of players and coaches neglect here is having the proper contact. because without this, unlocking the power of internal rotation is almost impossible. So when players try to focus on swinging low to high or using this windshield wiper action, but without having the right joint angles at contact, that's when they end up feeling like they're muscling the ball, and this leads to a lot of inconsistency and eventually even injury, like tennis elbow. By making sure that your contact is positioned well in front of your body, you'll naturally get more topspin, start creating control consistently, and getting that all-encompassing heavy ball. Now, one note here is that the more bent your arm is, the more you're going to be relying on your forearm pronation to rotate your racket over. And here's why. If you try this with me and place your arm in this slightly bent position and perform the same internal rotation motion that you would with a straight arm, you'll start to notice that it's actually going to be contributing to getting your racket to go forward instead of upward. But whatever you go with, the fundamentals here are to develop your comfortable contact joint angles, and then from there, focus on rolling the ball. Now, some players, especially with players with extreme grips and bent arm forehands, really struggle to flatten the shot out. So if this sounds like you, I got you. At the most basic level, the flat ball is created through the forward velocity of your racket head, which you can do by simply extending your arm forward through contact. Now, anatomically, this is executed by a motion called horizontal shoulder adduction. You could kind of think of this as a chest fly motion. So simply try this motion for yourself by raising your arm to your side and then bringing it in front of your body like this. And then as you do the same thing with the racket, bring it in front, and you'll find that you're in front of your body at contact. Now, along with this horizontal shoulder adduction, players like Kyrgios with a more bent arm hitting structure can actually flatten the shot out, like I said, with this internal rotation motion of the shoulder as well. So with this shot, along with horizontal shoulder adduction, you're going to slightly internally rotate the shoulder to crush the ball with that forward velocity of the racket. But to develop the proper fundamentals here, I generally recommend to start by extending your entire arm forward first. Now, depending on your forehand style, you might like to flatten more of your shots out or hit with that heavy topspin. And understanding which one you're more comfortable with is critical to identifying your true playing style. Now, one of the biggest factors here is your grip. So more extreme grips like the semi-Western or full Western is not only going to help to generate more spin, but it also helps you to handle a lot of spin, especially balls that are higher at around your shoulder level. On the other hand, milder grips like the Eastern or the modified Eastern are a little bit better for taking those lower balls on the rise, which is another way to handle heavy balls while also being able to flatten the ball out and attack easier. So in order to help you find out exactly what grip is best for you, we actually made a free quiz that you can check out, and it's gonna take things like your height, your natural playing style, and your personal preferences to find exactly which forehand grip is the best for you. So go take that quiz by clicking the first link in the description below, and you'll see your results in the next 2 minutes. Now, let's start using some of our favorite progression drills to start mastering both the heavy topspin and drive forehand shot. Number one is the discus drill. We call this the discus drill because it's very similar to a shot put. No, just kidding, a discus throw. You're gonna start here with your arm to the side with the ball in your hand. And you're gonna rotate your hip and chest forward. Try to keep your arm straight here and throw the ball from the side of your body. You're gonna try and focus on getting the ball deep by pulling your hand across your body through and get the initial feel for that chest fly motion. Now, we're gonna translate this motion to your contact point. So here, start from your contact and simply practice pulling your hand across your body. Try to focus here on your extension end with your racket tip pointing forward. Then, as you get used to this motion, you can start to finish all the way by catching your finish. And this will actually create a flatter swing path in your shot and help you to develop the fundamentals of your swing. Lastly, you can start adding more spin by rotating your racket over more and more aggressively through what we talked about with the internal shoulder rotation and forearm pronation. Then you're gonna add in your full swing while trying to retain that contact position. And for drill number 3, we're gonna bring things full circle here and start focusing on the strategy of topspin and flat forehands. So you can either do this with a hitting partner, a ball machine, or a wall. First, you're gonna start 3 feet behind the baseline and try to hit about 3 feet over the net and land your shots past halfway between the service line and the baseline. This is gonna help to work on the progression of your depth and extension. Now from here, you're gonna stand in front of the baseline or start to move closer to the wall. Your goal here is to take everything on the rise. Remember, here you wanna compact your backswing and start hitting a little flatter. And finally, once you get used to this, have your opponent start slicing the ball and alternating between topspin and slice. Your goal here is to pick up the ball with topspin and then get an easy ball back that you can flatten out and attack. So go and take these drills out onto the court and let me know what you think down in the comments below. And remember to take the free forehand grips quiz because it's gonna be key to helping you to master the topspin and flat variations. And as always, athletes, until next time, go out and train hard. I'll see you in the next video.